Listen up, everybody. We got to talk safety real quick. Classic car guys, you're part one. Demolition Derby guys, you're part two. So one of the things I hate seeing more than anything is a car like this going up in flames. And it's for one of two reasons, either faulty wiring or the carburetor. And also one of two reasons to that, it'll be because you restored and built the car yourself and did something wrong with the wiring, or you added a stereo system, amp and subs to it. That's why you'll see a car burn from the back end forward. Or it'll be an unrestored car and the wiring's 40, 50, 60 years old and it's touching metal somewhere, grounding out, and it just sparks up. But the solution to this is so simple, it just drives me crazy. It's like the last thing that people don't think to do or are just negligent to do because that's never happened to them once, so they just figure whatever. But the problem is that it could absolutely happen to everybody. Fire extinguisher. Fire extinguishers are cheap, and you can get them from anywhere. Walmart, these are Harbor Freight. Home Depot, Amazon. If you're one of those people that's worried oh, where am I going to mount it? I got to drill into the trunk floor and put a mount in. I mean, no, you don't got to do any of that. You can get an old used purse from your wife. Drop it in there. Drop it into the rear quarter valley inside the trunk. I mean, if you got a classic car and you're driving it on the street, that's the easy part. A lot of race car drivers, drag cars, circle track cars, even demolition derby cars, you get into an accident, you crash your car. I've seen it at one time at Sycamore Speedway, but it happens all the time, where a guy got crushed in his car and he couldn't get out right away. He was crushed in by the roll cage and the roll bars. Then what do you do? What if there's a fire and they can't get you out in 2 seconds? You can't get yourself out. Yeah, you're gonna want to have that right there at hand's will. Which brings me to my next safety issue with derby people. And for those of you non-derby related still watching, check this out. So I grabbed this random ass picture off the internet. I just typed in interior of derby car roll cage, and the very first picture I picked and saved, I didn't even realize it. This guy's got a fire extinguisher duct taped to his roll cage. Props to this guy. Derby people, what's your issue? Worrying about a seatbelt, substituting a seatbelt. First of all, never substitute a seatbelt. But second of all, what do you really need a seatbelt for? I mean, I know a lot of places will demand that you have one. They'll black flag you for not having one, like a place wanted to do to me one time. And I substituted a ratchet strap. I left it really loose because I didn't like the idea. I mean, do you really need a seatbelt? Even if you get rolled over, you got the steering wheel to hold on to with one hand and the shifter to hold on to with the other hand. I mean, we're not going 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. Derby guys really don't need to worry about a seatbelt. But if a place is mandatory seatbelts and they black flag you for it, then, get the right seatbelt in there. I mean, even in weld old iron, I never worried about it, or even a roll bar pad. Substituting seatbelts. There was an incident I seen on We Crash a long time ago about an old story, 81 Speedway in Kansas. A young driver, teenager. Man, I hate to even talk about it because I don't like to get into taboo things, but the Speedway demanded that they had a seatbelt. The car didn't have a seatbelt. Some old-ass car, they took out the seatbelt or something, whatever. They decided to use a chain and a bolt instead. Guess what? That car caught on fire. They couldn't get it on. They couldn't even get to the car. He couldn't undo it. I don't know, something about he was unconscious or something. Guys, he died in the fire inside that car. Sorry, guys, I had to stop the video real quick. I'm really empathic. I'm a major empath. Part of the reason why I wear sunglasses. Got a little emotional there. That's why I don't even like to talk about that stuff. But guys, do not be substituting your seatbelts. Either have a seatbelt or, don't. I ran that ratchet strip, like I said. I also had a knife with me in case I had to cut it. So that's just my take on that. Just so you guys are aware, let's not be doing that stuff.